This is true, really news with Scott Combs and Tony Verkinnes. All the news you're about to hear is true, as far as you know.
Kobuk Valley National Park, the least visited national park in the United States.
It's in the United States?
It's in the, it's
never heard of it before.
It's nearly Russia from where it is. Visitors in 2018, 14,937 total. And I think that's just the living animals in the park that they're counting. In any case, compared to our most visited park, which is Great Smoky Mountains National Park over on the East Coast with 12,500,000 visitors.
As opposed to just over 14 grand.
Yeah, just about 15 grand. So
my tax dollars at work.
That's orders of magnitude I can't even calculate. So here's
at least I know where Yogi Bear lives.
Exactly. And here's the thing that I love about this. Since it's the most least visited national park,
it is by far the most least.
the writers suck. Here is from the top of the website. You ready? Caribou, sand dunes, the Kobuk River, onion portage. Just some of the facets of Kobuk Valley National Park. 500,000 caribou migrate through, their tracks crisscrossing sculpted dunes. The Kobuk River is an ancient and current path for people and wildlife. For 9,000 years, people came to Onion Portage to harvest caribou as they swam the river. My questions.
Okay.
What do they use for bait? And what weight test line do you use? Where do you get it from? Just asking.
My thought is they'd only have signs up that say, caribou do not feed the humans.
Well, you know, we can do
because there's so few of them.
Moving on.
Ireland's highest court isn't sweet on tax breaks for footlongs. See, the country Supreme Court ruled that the starch used in Subway sandwiches is too sugary to meet the definition of bread.
Oh,
of course, makes it a legal distinction that could have saved the firm some dough. It's written right there. In deciding whether to give the fast food chain a tax break for serving a staple food item, that'd be bread, the 5-judge panel ruled that the bread's sugar to flour content is roughly 5 times too high to qualify.
That is insane. Does it act like bread? Does it smell like bread?
We will go to court over anything.
We'll fight. Yep. And as opposed to kicking those nuts in the butt and sending them out. You should that case should have been thrown out of court. That's insane.
So it should be candy because the dough baked by Subway sandwiches has a sugar content roughly 10% the weight of its flour. So we'll just call it candy. And does that tax differently?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Does it?
It's kind of scary when even the courts are following my money. Well, their money. I don't think I pay Irish taxes, do I?
Well, you could if you lived there. So a pigeon message found over a century after it was sent by a German soldier has come to light. They were in the Alsace region, some people in the French Alsace region, which used to be part of Germany, then isn't, and now isn't. In any case, they found this tiny aluminum capsule in a field. And what happens in a lot of these old battlefields is the stuff works up over time, with frost heave and all kinds of other things that happen as weather changes. So they pop this thing open, and it turns out it's a message from a German soldier from World War I. It's barely legible due to its age and stuff. In fact, they could only translate one portion of it, which they hope gives us a real insight into what it was like to be a German soldier in World War I in this particular region. And I have a translation of that section they can read.
Okay.
Now, it has been 1,000,000 years since I lived in Germany, and at least 500,000 since I took a German class.
And so 250,000 since they'd acknowledge you.
Exactly. And well, I'm just going to read it best I can. Du legst deine rechte Hand hinein. Du legst deine rechte Hand Haut. Du legst deine rechte Hand hinein.
You wouldn't happen to know what that means in something I understand, do you?
Yeah. Roughly translated, you put your right hand in, you put your right hand out. You put your right hand
And you take it all about? Well,
apparently it was instructions on the hokey pokey.
the German hokey pokey. Germans don't have that much fun, I'm afraid.
Oh, you accuse me of lying.
Yeah.
Fake news.
This is actually a true story, and I don't know if it's funny or sad. 3 years ago, an Indian businessman lost his wife in a car wreck. But the devoted husband decided to have a hyper-realistic wax figure cast in his late wife's likeness.
Standing, sitting, reclining,
sitting.
Ah.
She's sitting, smiling. Yeah,
as she would.
Eyes open, dressed nicely.
Mm.
A little eerie. What's the word I'm looking for? Is it creepy or disturbing? So he recreates the wife and then builds their dream house. It took him 25 architects to find one that would build it exactly to specs, but he did, and they did. And then he had a housewarming so that he could introduce his wife's new life-size, but lifeless figure to his guests.
Discreepy.
Yeah, it's definitely just creepy or disturbing. And apparently it's not true what the vows say.
What do you mean?
Apparently death does not do us part.
Ah, yeah. As long as we have enough wax in the house.
And you keep the air conditioning on, because otherwise...
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.